Welcome back to the film room. Today we are looking at Kingsley Suamataia's tape, and my first thought going into this film breakdown and kind of looking at the tape, was Kingsley that bad last year? And obviously first couple of games weren't great. The first game against Baltimore really wasn't as bad as I think people, look back on. And with the Bengals, obviously Trey Hendrickson gave him hell most of the game and ended up getting pulled. And I think it was smart for Andy Reid to do that, just out of confidence. You're looking at a rookie. He's got tough matchups in these first two games between Baltimore and Cincinnati. But I do think that he handled Baltimore a little bit better, at least, than he did Cincinnati. And then we have a little bit of film to look at on the final game. Now, Kingsley Suamataia did play throughout the year, just some sparing snaps. Played most of the game against Denver in Week 10. But we're going to skip over that and look mainly at these first two games. And then the last game where he actually played left guard in against Denver in Week 18. So as you can see, the grades are not great. There's some bright spots there throughout, but 61.4 pass blocking against Baltimore Week 1, and then 72.9. Obviously, it's only 2 snaps against Tampa Bay, and then against Vegas also decent. But the run blocking, that's what I want to look at really too. 75.2 grade PFF wise for Week 18 at Denver. So let's get straight into this film breakdown, and we are going to start with Week 1 against Baltimore. And Kingsley over here on the left side, obviously he's playing left tackle in these first couple of games. So let's see how he gets off the line. This is going to be a pass block right here. And pretty much neutral, right? I mean, not terrible, not great. Pretty quick pass play, though, for Patrick Mahomes. Gets kind of the outside, does 99, and is going to end up beating him and could have caused a hold. But honestly, probably should have been a touchdown right there. So, I mean, he did his job for that play, I think, but it wasn't great, right? And the play was going to the right side, so obviously already they were planning for that, I think. Planning to kind of keep the plays away from Kingsley on opening night, give him some time to really get acclimated to this NFL level. He's the only one on the left side right here. Now, this one was pretty good, I thought, personally. I think that it showed some good traits, at least, for Kingsley on this play, and we'll get a better view of it here. Number 76 over here on the left side. Again, I don't think that we saw anything that was great, but we saw potential, in my opinion. And right here, I think that Kingsley does a good job. He takes a step back, and the edge rusher is going to try to get to the inside, basically. Suamataia does a great job at setting his feet right here and not letting him get through, I think. Comes inside, gets those feet planted, keeps moving with his defender, doesn't let him get back to the outside either. Very good play. Again, potential is there. And we won't see him at left tackle this year, obviously. And I think that's good, moving him to guard. And he seems like he likes the idea of playing guard as well, based on what he said through training, or not training camp, but, mini camps. But here we get back to what we saw in the first play. Whereas if you're going outside, you could probably beat him. It may take a second, but, get past that initial, and you could probably beat him. And I think that kind of goes back to his kick out just isn't the best. Like, you can see it right here. Just a quick little small step. And look at the difference. Look at the difference between Jawan Taylor over here on the right side and Kingsley on the left side right here. Just watch the difference. I'm going to play this a couple of times just so you can see what I'm talking about. Look at the kick out for Jawan Taylor right here. Boom. He is all the way out there. Look where Kingsley Suamataia is right now. When you look at that pocket formula, I mean, you're coming across and then just boom. It's not really a straight line. You're not getting a whole pocket. Like, you want him to be back just a little bit more on this kick out. And I think that was something that he had problem with at left tackle, at least at the NFL level. Good fake right there. Kind of gets Kingsley to overcommit, I think. Puts that left hand out. Suamataia kind of waiting for him to basically, I think, bull rush him or come right at him, where he just kind of snakes around to the right side, gets around him, gets the sack. I mean, that's 100% on Kingsley right there. Look over at Tooney, I guess, and see what was going on. Because Hey, Tooney wasn't faring well on this play either, so no help on that left side really on this play. That's a big boy coming through the middle right there, and you see number 90 gets to Patrick Mahomes. So now we're going to go to week 2. And week 2 was obviously the week that was very tough, and a very similar play right here by Trey Hendrickson. This was a tough game for the rookie. Again, just beats him to the outside. And I feel like Trey probably saw that on tape from week 1, that Kingsley was not doing well against guys that are just going to the outside on him. And let's look at this kick out initially right here. Again, same kind of thing. I want to go over and look at Jawan Taylor again too, just to see the difference in where their positions are immediately. I mean, look at where Jawan Taylor's at. He's got a little bit different of a parameters on this one as Kelsey's staying in for a second. I think he goes out on a route, but yeah, stays in to kind of help for just a split second. But it takes Kingsley a couple of steps to get to the same spot where Jawan Taylor's at. I mean, at this point right here on this still image, you can see Suamataia is definitely further back, but that's because Trey is pushing him back, and he gets to the quarterback and a sack. This was obviously the game that they pulled him in, and now you're taking what you did earlier, and you're flipping it on its head. Now you've got Kingsley worried that you're going to go all the way outside and work your way back to the quarterback, and instead pushes, gets a little bull rush action going in before he just takes him back to the left side and finishes another sack right here. So this play again. Now, this one more so, and maybe just because of the angle that Jawan Taylor has over here on the right side, but a lot more similar to seeing their kickouts right here. Obviously, just a little slight step from Jawan Taylor on the right side rather than a full kickout. Same thing with Suamataia. And he's anticipating that. I mean, you can tell. I mean, he is anticipating Trey to go all the way outside. And, I mean, the way he's moving his body, that's what he's expecting. And I think, I mean, even if he does go all the way outside, he's beat already. But Mahomes is also kind of, I think, waiting on it too. He doesn't drop as far back in the pocket. Trey gets there. Easy money on the sack. And, you know, you're just taking the rookie to town. And that's what you want to do. I mean, if you're on that defensive side of the ball, obviously what you want to do is beat that rookie up. Say, hey, welcome to the NFL, basically, right? And so now we're going to Denver. So now we're going to see Kingsley in a different spot. He's at left guard. This is week 18 now. At Denver, of course, the backups. Carson Wentz is the quarterback. I think that's Remigio going in motion right there. And this is going to be a pass block that Suamataia kind of stays with. Now, this is some of the stuff that I do like to see. Not that he did much on this play, but I do want to point this out just for the simple fact that I do think that the 76 over here on the left side, Kingsley, just staying with it and the hustle. That's what you want to see, and especially out of a guard that, you know, the run blocking is going to be more of a, you know, necessity. Obviously, you know, people talk about the Chiefs' offensive line a lot and say how, you know, they have a great offensive line. Well, they have a great interior offensive line. Obviously not as fast as this guy right here, but I do like the hustle. He did kind of stop a little bit here. Obviously kind of trying to anticipate what Carson Wentz is doing as he's going to stop and throw. Good hustle to get out there, but you want to see him finish. That is the problem. And I'm sure, you know, these guys are looking at that on tape and, you know, the Chiefs organization in general, you know, working with Kingsley on these kind of things. Andy Heck is one of the best offensive line coaches in the league. So I do think that Kingsley is going to be set up for success right here at left guard. And we see him again over here at the guard position. And this one, another passing down. I do believe that I have another one running play here at the end to break down. But right here initially, the hand fighting is not great, I would say. Kind of has his hands out there, gets it swiped away, recovers very well. And that's something that I do kind of want to point out because, again, I think with Kingsley, the potential is there. It just hasn't translated yet, and sometimes it takes time. I think that, you know, obviously Kingsley got a lot of bashing from Chiefs fans in general over last season, but I think that we got to look at the bigger picture, you know, the wider scope of things. The potential is there, and now in a position maybe that he can, you know, do something better. Gets his hand swiped away right here, his left arm, recovers it, and then a good step and plants his feet again. And that's exactly what you want to see. out of these offensive linemen, especially on the passing. He gets back in front of him, gets square once again. Does a good job, gets his hands back out in front of him, and does a great job to fight the defensive tackle right there. I think that's a great rep and a win for Kingsley Suamataia personally. Let's look at it one more time. Again, right off the snap, gets that left hand swiped away, recovers, plants his feet, gets in front of 99, and the pass is off, unfortunately, incompletion right there. Juju in motion right here. This is going to be a run to the left side and a cutback by Carson Steele. Now, not much going on in this play, but you got Kingsley over here on the left side once again at guard. But I do think that he does make a good adjustment here again. And like I said, the course of this is the potential. So he's getting a lot of help right here. Maybe this isn't the play that I thought it was. I think that's maybe the next play. But either way, I do remember why I saved this play right here. Is what we saw earlier in the game, right, was Kingsley didn't finish on that pass blocking play. He tried to anticipate. He showed the hustle to get out in front of Carson Wentz. But he doesn't finish, right? Right here, that's finishing a play. That's finishing a play, baby. That's exactly what you want to see. The run has went all the way off. Carson Steele cuts back. I believe that's Carson Steele. Cuts back this way. Kingsley is taking his man all the way. You are going to be a non-factor on this play. That's exactly what you want to see out of a guard on a run play, in my opinion. And we see it with Trey Smith all the time. He's got a great right guard to learn from. And obviously he was in that room with Joe Tooney last year because this was the plan from last year. Obviously, I mean, in Week 18 they put him out here to see Kingsley at left guard in a real game. But that was most of the year that Kingsley was in the guard room, essentially, after knowing, okay, left tackle may not be your spot in the NFL, but we got a left guard position, and obviously why the Chiefs went out and they signed a left tackle, they drafted a left tackle. I mean, I don't think that, Wanya Morris is the answer, and I might do another film breakdown on him, which let me know in the comments below if you want to see another film breakdown on Wanya Morris on his 2024 season. That's him over here at right tackle. But he's still kind of that swing tackle that they drafted him as, and last year we thought maybe he might have a chance to be the starter at left tackle. And I don't think that's going to be the case at all at this point, or really with where the Chiefs are going. So I'm still kind of on the fence whether I'm going to do a full breakdown on Wanya Morris or not. But right here, this play, I think this is the play that I was talking about. Okay, initially, not great for where the run is going, right? I think that he does a good job right here off the line, plants his feet, get out of here. Good push. Carson Steele does a great job at recognizing it, changing direction, right? Great job. Don't know if that's the play design or where they wanted to go with it, if it was a design cutback. I'm assuming that Kingsley kind of pushed him right into the gap that they wanted to run through, especially when you look at your center up here at the top of the play, that it looks like he's heading up here to go block anybody. Obviously this linebacker, 61, is going to try to get to the next level as well. So I do think that this play is designed to kind of swing all the way out over here, and especially the way that you're getting the block on the left tackle. He's kind of pushing him downward this way. So probably right here is where you want to run that ball. So obviously play-wise, I don't think that Kingsley does a great job on this play, but you have good recognition from Carson Steele to change direction and see what's left. And I think that Kingsley does a good enough job to open that up for Carson Steele. Hey, every play that you run isn't going to be exactly how you drew it up, right? But it works, and especially when we're talking about this Chiefs team that loves to run, out of the system, or whatever play that they're running. Patrick Mahomes may run all day behind the line of scrimmage and find somebody open. We've seen that magic with him and Kelsey throughout the years. But I do think that he does a great job recovering and just make sure that his man is not going to make a play. And they get a couple of yards out of it, spare a couple of yards. But I think that I'll call it neutral for Suamataia right here on this play. I'll call it neutral because play design-wise, I think that he does kind of mess up the play, essentially, because that hole is somewhat open over there, but again, pushes him pretty much right to where Carson Steele's going, but recovers well, plants his feet. And that is one thing on the offensive line that I will say personally over, all the film that I've watched over the last couple of years and what I've seen, that and other people breaking down film as well, is being able to plant your feet like that and getting back to a neutral base and in front of your guy. I mean, that is such a key in being able to, okay, maybe I didn't win off the rip, but I will fight to win this rep every time. So I do think that the potential for Kingsley Suamataia is there. And I think it's there as a guard. And like he said, after practices during the mini camps and all that he is looking forward to playing guard and being more aggressive. And that's something that he said. And so I think that you're seeing that. Even throughout this game, I think that, we saw the first play that we broke down from this game. He wasn't as aggressive as he probably should have been. We'll go back to that. If I can find the right play right here. I think it's this one. Wasn't as aggressive right here as he probably should have been, right? Kind of slows up right there. Stutters, stops. And he might be looking over and seeing that Carson Wentz is about to throw the ball. But, hey, man, put a hit on him, right? Lay the boom. Be like Trey Smith. Trey Smith don't ever miss an opportunity to hit somebody. But throughout this game, you see him being more aggressive. The hand fighting got better from the opening weeks that we saw against Baltimore and Cincinnati. And now here in this game right there, the hand fighting right there is absolutely great. Keeping a good base in front of a defensive tackle. Obviously, he's going to have to deal with bigger defensive tackles than edges, but I think that will help Suamataia because I don't know if he can really seal the edge at left tackle, at the NFL level at least, And I didn't watch a ton of tape on him in college or anything like that, so kind of going into this blind. Shout out to Samaje P. Ryan. That was P. Ryan. I was calling Carson Steele earlier just because I was thinking of this clip, but I do think that the potential is there for Kingsley Suamataia. So, Chiefs Kingdom, let me know in the comments below what you think about Kingsley transitioning to left guard, where you feel. I know a lot of people are pretty down on it, but I think the potential is there, and I'm ready to see what 2025 brings for Kingsley at left guard. I think that he can be a solid left guard for the Chiefs, and if anything, at least hold over in that position until they find somebody to really replace Tooney. But again, Chiefs Kingdom, let me know what you think in the comments below. I will be back with plenty more player-specific film breakdowns. Throw in the comments who you want to see me break down their film on. I think Jaden Hicks is going to be the next one on my list that I will be putting a film breakdown on. So if you enjoy this, make sure, and if you're still here, smash that subscribe button for me. I am trying to get to 500 before the season starts, and I think these film breakdowns are really going to help me. So like I said, if you enjoy it, make sure you like the video, smash that subscribe button for me. I definitely believe that we can get to 500 before the season starts. And one last time, drop a comment. Let me know who you want to see in these player film breakdowns. Until next time, I'll see you in the film room.